Hello everyone, today is 2nd of July, now it's 11:30 in the morning Moscow time. I'm Levan Gudadze and this is my first update for the day in which I'll share all the main news that are making headlines in Russian media outlets and Russian language pages on different internet platforms. And there are quite a few very significant developments and news that I like to share with you for this moment. And I will start with this interesting news. Many media outlets reported about it, including RIA Novosti, that yesterday, as a result of Iskander-M missile strike on Ukrainian airfield in Mirgorod, Russian forces managed to destroy 5 Su-27 fighter jets and 2 Su-27 fighter jets were damaged, seriously damaged. As a result of this strike. You can see a video here. There was a cluster warhead on a missile, and then explosions, some additional strikes. So quite successful operation on part of Russian missile forces. And let me show you on the map this airfield. So it's a Poltava region, by the way, I believe. And this is the airfield that was targeted, Soviet era huge airfield that was targeted by Russian forces, and this is the part of the airfield where these Su-27s were destroyed. Definitely a significant success on part of Russian troops. I wonder how many planes Kiev regime has left. Not that many, I guess. Anyways, also interesting news from Vzglyad newspaper that Prime Minister of Hungary, Viktor Orban, is in Kiev right now in Ukraine. He will hold the talks with Zelensky and some other high-ranking officials in the Kiev regime. Let's see what will come out from these talks. Earlier, several media outlets here in Russia reported that Hungary was demanding from Kiev regime to recognize Transcarpathia region as a region with historical Hungarian roots. I don't know if sides managed to achieve agreement on that, but rights of the ethnic Hungarians in Transcarpathia always was a point of discussion between the sides. Hungary was not happy how ethnic Hungarians were treated by Kiev regime, and I guess one of the main topics of discussions obviously will be situation in Transcarpathia, although of course sides will talk about possible ways to achieve peace in Ukraine. Let's see what kind of statements Orban will make after this visit. Also, RBK news agency is reporting that, according to article in Wall Street Journal, Kiev regime no longer has manpower to conduct any offensive operations. Many other outlets, by the way, also acknowledging that issue with lack of manpower is becoming more and more relevant in Ukraine, which is true, and members of our community know perfectly well that Ukrainian society basically don't want to fight and die for Zelensky's regime, Zelensky's criminal terrorist regime and their Western masters. It's just factual. That's why on daily basis Kiev regime is kidnapping people on the streets. I did not see any people queuing to join Zelensky's regime forces in enlistment offices. I did not see any queuing people there. RIA Novosti's report that Netherlands approved export of its F-16 fighter jets to Kiev regime. Yet again, F-16s are in headlines. I don't know when this story will end, by the way. There always this constant talk about F-16s being delivered to Kiev regime, F-16s. And now Netherlands are saying that they approve deliveries and first bunch should appear in Ukraine in fairly short time. Okay, let's see. Russian fighter jets, Russian air defense systems are ready to deal with any aerial target, no matter what that target is, F-16, US-made F-16 or Soviet era Su-27, for example. And of course, despite their attempts in the Western media to create some sort of game changer image from these F-16s, they are not game changer, by the way, in no way. Anyways, same time, some Western states, to be more precise, Denmark, Canada, and yet again Netherlands, are promising the regime to participate in another military aid package for 675 million US dollars. Although initially this there was idea that more countries will participate to donate money for this new military aid package, but it seems like for now only these three countries are willing to pay some more to Zelensky to enrich him some more, and also, by the way, themselves, obviously, and military industrial complex of their West. RIA Novosti's report that in Ukraine's state, which is a parliament, statements were made about upcoming changes in the government of Ukraine, and according to some rumors that are circulating now, even Prime Minister Shmigal may be replaced, and some other people may be appointed. State should start its work yesterday, but it was postponed for another week. Some say this was done because of the upcoming NATO summit in Washington, but some Ukrainian MPs are saying that State Radar's work was postponed because of this upcoming reshuffle in the government of Kiev regime. Maybe Zelensky and his inner circle is trying to consolidate power in their hands because they know that they are losing support of their Western masters, especially after Zelensky become illegitimate. Basically, Zelensky lost legitimacy from 20th of May. Anyways, let's continue. RT is reporting that according to The Economist, by the way, Ukraine could declare default, so Kiev could default on its enormous debt as early as next month if it fails to negotiate a restructuring deal with their creditors. The Economist reported on Sunday. Okay, I reported earlier that there was negotiations between Kiev regime and its creditors, and the Kiev regime was basically demanding some 20 billion to be written off of investments or credits, and creditors say no. And I guess if Washington will not get involved, then creditors will continue to demand their money, their profits, and well, I don't know. Maybe Kiev regime will default really on its debt, although it will be bad optics for Washington, because just today, this morning, I watched a speech of Antony Blinken, head of State Department, when he was bragging about economical developments of Ukraine. It was very strange stuff to watch, by the way. I mean, it's hard to believe that Blinken is this badly informed, that he has no idea what is going on in Ukraine. Probably he knows, but he is lying intentionally, because if they will say what is really happening on the Kiev-controlled territory, then that's going to be quite bad optics, really. And bad, it will not suit in Western propaganda. But yes, in reality, Kiev may default, and if Washington will not get involved, if Brussels will not get involved, or London, most likely, Kiev will default. Vzglyad newspaper is reporting that Prime Minister of Israel, Benjamin Netanyahu, once again stated that in fairly short time, Hamas will be totally destroyed. Israeli forces are close to achieve this. And by the way, of course, everyone now is more focused, not more focused, but also focused on developments on the northern borders of Israel and southern borders of Lebanon. Bild, the German media outlet, even reported yesterday, if I'm not mistaken, that according to sources of the Bild, Netanyahu's government plans to authorize invasion in Lebanon for second half of the July. So unfortunately, at this point, situation is moving towards further escalation, and this time between Israel and Lebanon. Israel and Lebanese Hezbollah, and of course many countries already issued their warnings to their citizens to evacuate to flee basically Lebanon, and Iran is making also statements that Hezbollah is fully ready to repel any attacks, to deal with the threats from IDF. And also, by the way, we have information from Kommersant newspaper today that according to aide of supreme leader of the Iran, aide in foreign policies, Kamal Kharazi, Iran will provide all necessary support to protect Hezbollah, to make sure that Hezbollah will prevail. Situation is very difficult, but when you're analyzing what is going on there, one may assume that even if Hezbollah is attacked, I don't think Iran will get involved directly in this conflict. This is my personal take on the situation. During the previous live stream on Sunday, one of the members of our community asked me about the position of Turkey. Will Turkey get involved directly in conflict with Israel if Lebanon is attacked? And my understanding was that no, Turkey will not get involved in this conflict directly. And I think Iran will also not get involved directly in the conflict with Israel, even if Hezbollah is attacked. Although Iran will provide all the possible assistance, all the access forces, or resistance forces, sorry, all the resistance forces that have close ties to IRGC will probably be involved in this, will get involved in this fight against IDF on behalf of Hezbollah. Of course, Iran will try to provide her with all the necessary weaponry and intelligence, Hezbollah. But when it comes to direct involvements, despite the strong statements, by the way, that was made in Tehran in recent days, including from Foreign Minister of Iran, I don't think Iran will get involved, because that's exactly what Western ruling class wants, to provoke a regional war, to shut down navigation in Persian Gulf, and basically cut off global south, mainly China, from this major shipping route that is used by Middle Eastern countries to export their oil and gas. And main buyer of this energy from Middle East, by the way, right now is China. Some veterans of our community know perfectly well that I was saying for quite a long time that, in my understanding, Western ruling class wants to provoke regional war in the Middle East, exactly because they want to shut down navigation in the Persian Gulf and through Hormuz Strait, through this strait here, to cut off China from Middle Eastern energy sources, so that China will become even more dependent on Russia, and then We all know that Western ruling class has this sick ideas to conduct regime change or to provoke regime change in Russia, put some puppets of the West in charge, and then turn Russia away from China. And in that case, of course, China, if it will lose both its major energy supply lines, one being Middle East, and then if Russia will turn away, of course, China will find itself in a situation when it will be forced to act, maybe to take with force some closest energo fields to provide its own economy with energy. And where is the closest energo fields from China in that scenario? In general, not just in that scenario, but in general, it's Central Asia, by the way, and Russia. That's what Western ruling class wants. They want to create, first of all, they want to cut China from Middle Eastern energy sources, so that Chinese dependence on Russian energy supplies will reach a critical point. And then, if they succeed with regime change, they would not, but that's what their idea is, in my understanding, that they want them to conduct regime change in Russia, turn Russia away from China under whatever pretext, and force China to get aggressive and to basically West wants to provoke war between China and Russia, and this way get rid of main competitors on a geopolitical chessboard. That's what is going on, by the way, and therefore China understands this, Russia understands this, Iran understands, and the regional countries also. And that's why I'm saying, even if Hezbollah is attacked, I don't think Iran will get involved directly in this conflict. Although, of course, Western ruling class has other means also to force, basically, Iran to get involved, to provoke Iran to become a part of regional conflict, as a result of which navigation in the Persian Gulf will be disrupted. As I said, Western ruling class, it's an evil force, by the way. Evil force, and unfortunately quite capable one. But anyways, let's continue. Let's see how will the situation develop. It is good to know that at least now, right now, there is no signs in Russia that West will ever achieve regime change here. But never say never, never say never. We went through 90s. We see collapse of Soviet Union. So therefore, one should always be careful, especially when it comes to these evil activities of the Western ruling class. Nothing is to be taken as granted. That's what I want to say, including this stability and prosperity, this highway that Russia is right now, of highway of stability and prosperity. And everyone here in Russia should do its best to make sure that Russia will stay on this track of peaceful development. Kommersant newspaper, yes, I already reported about this, that aide of Supreme Leader of Iran is promising to protect Hezbollah. But once again, I don't think Iran will get involved directly. Vzglyad newspaper is reporting that Nebezhny, by the way, head of permanent Russian representative in UN, stated that Israel will face consequences if it will provide Kiev regime with Patriot air defense systems. Earlier I reported that Washington is in talks with Israel about 8 Patriot air defense systems that Israel previously was planning to retire, but due to escalation with Hezbollah, latest reports are that Israel wants to keep operational these air defense systems, but Washington seems like already had the plans on that 8 air defense systems, and they are demanding now from Israel these systems to be transferred to Kiev regime. And Blinken, by the way, spoke about air defense systems also yesterday in on one of their during one of his speeches, and he promised some new information on terms of air defense systems deliveries to Kiev regime, and I guess that's what he had in mind. These air defense systems that Washington demanding from Israel to be transferred to Kiev regime. Russia is, of course, monitoring situation, and Russian permanent representative in UN give quite a clear warning to Israel that there will be consequences if they will provide weapons to Kiev regime. RIA Novosti's report that, in France, by the way, after first tour, which was devastating for Macron's coalition, because Marine Le Pen's party managed to achieve significant success. After that, 185 candidates from Macron's coalition and also from coalition of the leftist parties, they decided to withdraw 185 their candidates from second tour, candidates that take third place, so that votes for that candidate will go to one that was on the second place in that district. And this way Macron and his allies want to minimize success, potential success for Le Pen's party. Let's see if this trick will work. Let's see if this trick will work. If not, then Marine Le Pen will have majority, by the way, in the parliament. If this trick on part of Macron and his allies will not work, they are in big trouble, because Le Pen will have majority. I will not say that even if Le Pen's party is in majority, it will be a huge difference. It will make huge difference for France. I don't know. I don't think it will make French foreign policies will change dramatically also, because we already see what happened with Meloni, isn't it? With Giorgia Meloni in Italy. I mean, that was quite a rapid U-turn, isn't it? She just went to office of prime minister, and almost next day she forgot everything about anything she promised to, and her party promised to people. And I'm afraid something like that might happen with Marine Le Pen and her party. I don't know. I just don't know. But track record is quite abysmal when it comes to these alternative political movements in Europe. Whenever they are getting to power, somehow, some way, they are becoming almost the same or similar as previous ruling parties. Unfortunately, but maybe this time we will see some difference. Maybe this will be something new. If Le Pen will get majority, I don't know. Let's see. Second tour of elections, parliamentary elections, will be towards the end of this week, I believe. So RT is reporting, by the way, that U.S. Supreme Court rules that Trump has a presidential immunity. This was a big story in U.S., I believe. Yesterday, Supreme Court ruled out that Trump, as a president, when he was acting as a president, is immune. But if he committed some crime as a private person, then he is not immune in that case. And because Democrats wanted to charge him for January 6th and basically remove from presidential race. He was a president at the time, right? And therefore he could not be charged. He has immunity according to U.S. Supreme Court. It's a ruling. And therefore, I guess last hopes of neolibs, Democrats, to somehow remove Trump from presidential race is dying down. Although, by the way, Trump's security should be on high alert, because those neolibs, they are crazy, by the way. They may use any means to deal with Trump, because they know most likely with whoever a candidate, they will come up eventually, Biden, or if someone else will be candidate, most likely like 70-80% is that Trump will win elections. So, well, interesting developments are taking place in US. Let's see what is going to happen. The Glad newspaper is reporting that Bolivia, by the way, recalled its ambassador from Argentina. There's some diplomatic row in South America, in Latin America now, and the reason is that Argentina's government questioned this recent coup attempt in Bolivia, and they basically almost openly claimed that it was some sort of false flag operation on behalf of Bolivian government. It was a fake coup d'etat attempt, and I don't know, by the way, I was not there. I don't know what has happened there, but no other government, no other media outlet, no one says anything like that, just Argentina. So if they know something that we don't, maybe they should share with public their knowledge. Otherwise, why you are coming out with these crazy allegations then? So it's quite understandable that Bolivia did not tolerate this craziness of Argentinian government, and they recalled ambassador from Argentina. I'm telling you, man, this Milei, this clown that was chosen as a president of Argentina, gonna destroy that country, man. Argentina had such a unique opportunity to join BRICS, to really deal with economical, social issues, to conduct some reforms with help of BRICS member states, by the way, that clearly could provide all the necessary assistance. But for whatever reason, Argentinian people decided that they want this crazy clown, Milei, as a president, and he derailed all the chances that Argentina had for prosperity. All of it, man. He just destroyed Argentina and continues to do so. He is now destroying relationships with its neighbors, with other countries in Latin America. Why? I don't know. Maybe because he wants to please Washington or something, because, we all know that Bolivia is the richest country in this world with the reserves of the lithium. And we know why would Washington or CIA will try to overthrow current government. That is in good working relationships with Russia, with Russian colleagues and Chinese colleagues, and with colleagues from other BRICS member states. And maybe Milei just want to please CIA and Washington by acting this crazy, and his government members also. Anyways, let's continue. RT is reporting that Russia becomes high-income country according to World Bank. So the World Bank's annual national income ranking released on Monday showed that Russia has advanced from upper middle to high category on the strength of their economic growth. And by the way, I'll give you some numbers. The bank measures gross national income, a GNI, based on their method dating back to 1989, and updates its classification every July 1st based on the previous calendar year. As year's GNI per capita, their income is measured in the equivalent of the US dollars. Economic activity in Russia was influenced by a larger increase in military-related activity in 2023, while growth was also boosted by rebound in trade, plus 6.8%, their financial sector plus 8.7%, and construction 6.6%, said the post on the World Bank blog. These factors led to increases in both real 3.6 and nominal 10.9 GDP, and Russia's Atlas GNI per capita grew by 11.2%, the bank added. To be considered high income, a country has to have a GNI of over 14,000 basically dollars, adjusted up from 13.80 145 from the previous fiscal year. Adjustment relies on weighted average of the GDP deflators of China, Japan, the UK, US, and the Eurozone. Okay, so I guess we can say that in Russia, this per capita income, GDP per capita is about 14,000, little more than 14,000. Then, okay. I'm not surprised at all. I'm not surprised at all because there was reports from Russian finance ministry and other institutions that real income in Russia is increasing quite significantly. So yes, good news, by the way, that Russia is a high income country according to World Bank. Okay, let's hope numbers will get even better in upcoming years and decades. RT is also reporting that Russia seizes ownership of the former Ukrainian president's chocolate factory, according to media. So shares in a candy factory previously owned by the former Ukrainian president Petro Poroshenko have been transferred to their ownership of the Russian government following a court decision. RIA Novosti reported on Monday, citing the federal bailiff service. And well, news is good, but what is surprising that this factory was still under Poroshenko. That's unbelievable, man. Court should work faster for God's sake. They needed, I don't know, man, how much time they needed to come up with this decision. I mean, how are you gonna allow open enemy of yours to do business in your country, man? Are you kidding me? What the hell? But it's good that finally a decision was made, by the way. This is crazy. So, yes, Poroshenko no longer owns this chocolate factory in Russia. That he was making millions and millions of dollars, by the way, probably tens of millions of dollars. RBK News Agency is reporting also that Greek, by the way, is the first country in EU with a 6 working day a week. I was a little surprised to see this news because I remember there were so many reports about 4 work days a week. That was idea like several years ago, that it should be not 5 working days a week but 4. And every other day that person will work should be counted as a overtime, as extra. But some experts were arguing that it will increase productivity. But now we have a opposite move in Greece, for example, when they have a 6 working day week, which is this may be a good deal for employers, but I don't think this is a good news for employees, for worker class. I don't know, man. Maybe our friends from Greece will share with us some more information about it. What the hell is going on in Greece, by the way? Why should there 6 days be a working week? 5 days are not enough. People should not rest, or what? 1 day of rest is clearly not enough. And I know what am I talking about, by the way. I work all my life. I mean, from 17. What 17, man? From 17 I'm in journalism, but I make first my money when I was like 12, 13. I was helping in when I was sent to my relatives for summertime. I was working in this factory or that factory, this business or that business, to make some money, like all of us did, by the way, you know. It's not really a unique story, but I mean, 1 day off a week it's clearly not enough in my understanding. It should be at least 2 days. Anyways, although, by the way, of course, on the 6th day, there will be some more pay for 40%. For 6 days, workers will receive at least 40% more payment. If it's a holiday, then 115% more. But still, by the way, when you are obligated, one is that when you have an option, do you want to do overtime or not? And some do, by the way. You know, when I was working, for example, before I left Leroy Merlin here, by the way, I was doing overtime quite often. It's normal stuff, but it's your choice. Different story is when you are obligated to work 6 days, you know, and if you are even getting paid like 40% more, is it worth it? Because you clearly need some rest, isn't it? I mean, physically, especially if it's a physical job, and even intellectual jobs, by the way. You know, you need some rest. Sometimes, by the way, you know, I have no day offs, quite rarely, for example, and sometimes I'm getting really tired, and you can see it on my face, right? Because I mean, you are working all day, every day, reading this news and preparing programs, and your brains are constantly working on this stuff, and you are getting tired. And of course, if one works physically, also gets tired and needs some rest. Anyways, RIA Novosti's report, by the way, and I will end this update on this news that in Russia, by the way, there was 28 records all around Russia in different regions when it comes to summer temperatures. It's really hot, by the way. It's really hot, and it's gonna stay this way for next couple of days, and then towards the end of the week, according to forecast, it's gonna be rain again, and stormy weather, and that kind of stuff. And records were in Moscow, I believe, and also in Moscow region. Kherson, Pskov, Chita, St. Petersburg, Oryol, Moscow region, as I said, in 28 regions, by the way, record-breaking temperatures right now. And that's why yesterday I wasn't able to sleep until 5 morning, by the way, because only towards the early morning it's cool enough to just have some rest. It's really hot, and we don't have conditioner in a flat, so you know. Okay, that's been said. I will end this relatively short update on this interesting news that in 28 regions there was breaking hot weather. Hopefully you will find this update somewhat informative, interesting, useful, and if so, please click that like button, leave some commentary just about anything. This is the only way we can reach wider audience and deal with the algorithm somehow. And for very same reason, if you can, please share information about my channel with your friends in real time or internet platforms that you are actively using. And finally, if you like my channels, if you like my work, please consider to support with small donations through PayPal, Boosty, or by subscribing to my Patreon page. All the links under this video in the description box and in the pinned comment. With your support, maybe one day I will be in a position to transform this small media project of mine in something little bigger and more interesting, hopefully. I don't know. Okay, this is it for now. Have a great day and take care.